Well, we are beginning here our course on creating abundance with archangels, oracles, healing, and more. And this first class is fulfilling your creative potential with angels and more. Hey, it's exciting to have the good fortune to be in this little spiritual community we're creating here, where we can connect with each other and with angels and oracles. So that's quite an opportunity.
Yeah.
And I'm Philip Montrose with my wonderful wife and partner, Jane Montrose, here at Awakenings Institute to help people live a more loving, fulfilled life with coaching and healing and spiritual guide program help and education here as of today. And this is the next step in our exciting journey into abundance. That means more freedom, more possibility for us all, uh, starting today and going further in the course. And last week in the overview class, we introduced the Heart of Success 7-part roadmap with step one, which is called Setting Your Course. And the recording, by the way, of that overview is in your resource section, so you can refer to that too. And today we go into step 2 of 7 of the Heart of Success roadmap that we will be exploring and going deeper in throughout this course. Every week we'll take a step further. And the step 2 is uncovering your heartfelt joy. Hey, what gives you joy? What lights you up? As Jim Morrison said, what lights your fire years ago. And if you haven't chosen a focus yet, uh, you still obviously have time to do so. And a good time to start maybe thinking about it today or as this class concludes. And that means it might be better health, uh, wealth, uh, career, relationships, something, a creative project, something that you want to focus on, that this course with our spiritual community and archangels and oracles and more can really help you with. If what we're doing in this course, just to put it in a grounded or comprehensive framework, is taking what we're calling a three-pronged approach. The three prongs, one is evidence from current science. We're talking about the current branches of science. Some of them are rather new: neuroscience, epigenetics, heart rate variability, and more. Then there's the other prong of the wisdom traditions from different cultures and religions
Mhm.
that have passed down this wisdom through the ages we can draw from. And third is our own experience being in the holistic field for 30 years with many students and clients. And of course, more importantly, or for you individually, is your own experience adding this to it and what you will draw from it for your own spiritual growth in the right way for you. So, jumping right into this first class and creating abundance with archangels, oracles, and healing, we're going to be covering today elevating your perspective with the support of archangels, why oracles, why we use them, and some basics on how to use them, how to get started with us. We'll do a simple oracle reading with the special deck for this course. Um, we'll also do a demonstration of the reading, which can be quite profound, as many of you know from having done this before, and give you some practice, something to practice for the lab practice. The next week's class will be a practice lab. And if possible, bring materials to the class. Um, that that would be
To
if
the
there's
lab, you mean?
to the lab. So if you have the Oracle decks already, or if you haven't, to order them. And we're starting with Rodley Valentine's Angel Wisdom deck today. Uh, and there are other ones on your resource page to order if you don't have them. And also, there will be after hours as usual, and Jane will hang around if you have other things, individual follow-up questions. And the classes are usually about 90 minutes, as you may know. So, Jane, let's start off in the optimal learning place.
Optimal learning place. Yeah. Yeah, it is. This, well, I guess all of the courses in this program are special to me. This one, it's really, I think, where we started. Uh, we initially were contacted by Archangel Metatron with the idea of accessing our full range of resources, including angels, masters, Akashic records. And I think we kind of realized some of these things as we went along. And so the first thing that we attempted to do was figure out, well, how are we going to contact all of these angels? So that's what we're focusing on. And we found that the approach that we're teaching here works like a charm. And it all actually centers around the same thing. And I think it looks like most of you know pretty much what we're about. And it is the central focus is always connecting with the truth in our hearts and recognizing that we are divine, we are creators, we are individuated aspects of God because God resides in us. Or if that's not the word you use, the creator resides in us, in our hearts. So what we're going to do now is a version of our soul centering process, going to a mystical mountaintop, which is where we recommend starting with just about anything, because you want to be in that place of openness and love, pure potential, really that heartfelt, genuine, pure desire to access what is in your highest good and the highest good of everyone around you. So this is where this is kind of where it all is. And that is actually, it is
a
science.
pumpkin muffin and a soda, please. Thank you.
Can you mute her?
Yeah.
It is, and Philip was talking about heart research, that it is, all of these things have been proven. They weren't actually when we first started, which was around 1990. The idea of connecting with your heart was like way out there. And I think heart math probably existed at that point, but it wasn't really, that was not well known. If it was there, I'm not sure exactly where it was, but over the years, it has become pretty clear that when we access the love in our hearts and open to a higher vibrational perspective, which we get on the mountaintop, that it changes things for us and makes us more resourceful. Many more things are possible. So that's what we're going to do. I think many of you already know this. We also do have on your resource page a script for this particular process, which goes to the mountaintop, and it also has an extra part going through the atmosphere, which we'll probably do at some point, but not today.
It's in 1.10 in your resource page.
Yeah. You can just go out into the universe, and you're really in a place of openness there. Just everything is open, and it can change you. So we're going to do that now, and we're going to invite Archangel Metatron to join us as an inspiration. And also he is considered one of the archangels that are closest to God, closest to our Creator. A very powerful, just such a beautiful vibration of divine love. So it's a blessing. We've already been through setting your course, and now this is what we're doing. We're putting the soul in the driver's seat, and with that, connecting with what is our next step, what's true for us and what's real for us, and where we really want to go from the perspective of our hearts. So the place to begin is always closing your eyes if you feel safe doing so, and if you're in a place where it is safe, not driving, etc. And then just starting to breathe in. I always figure the most amazing love and light from the universe around you, inviting all of the beings of light who are supporting you to bless you with divine light as you breathe. So just breathing in that beautiful light and love. And then as you exhale, releasing any tension, any energy that is not serving you in this moment. So with every breath in, you feel lighter and brighter. And as you exhale, you release. asking any energy that is not your own to leave your space, because we pick up energy from other people, places, and times. Just sending it back lovingly where it came from. And similarly, bringing back any of your own energy that you've left in other places with other people, other times, bringing it back to you. Which means that now you have more of your own energy. And you might notice that feeling more present in your body. Of course, that's what we want. We want to be present in our bodies in the moment. And then I'd like to invite in Archangel Metatron. And just mentioning a few things about him. He's known as the angel of enlightenment and abundance. He's associated with spiritual awakening, ascension, evolution, connecting with source energy, unity, and abundance for all. So just perfect for what we're doing here. And I know that he's so pleased that we're all here with him. And as you invite him in, you can just invite him to share his vibration of love with you, which is one of the big blessings that the angels offer. So feeling that loving light around you, which is often perceived as a golden white radiant light energy, might maybe have some sparkles in it. Just feel that around you and in your body. You might also sense an image of him there. Just notice what you notice and allow it to be exactly what it is. And then breathing in lighter energy with his presence, also inviting in Archangel Michael, who is an angel we invite in often for protection. And he's experienced often with an electric blue light. So you can also sense that around you. You might feel his presence. I notice now feeling his presence, there's that strength that comes from him too. So he's known for power and strength and protection, among other things. And with them with us, you can imagine now rising up just beautifully up to a mystical mountaintop that's way high up. So it's up. As you travel up, you'll notice you go through that atmosphere of the mass consciousness thought forms. So we're above all of that. And as you arrive at that magical mountaintop, mystical mountaintop, you can notice how expansive it is. You can see for miles and miles all around you, really the glorious beauty of the earth. And of course, the sky and the stars and the whole universe is above you. You can just open to that and open to the love in your heart, breathing in more love from the universe and from Metatron and Michael. Metatron also has a twin flame or complement, divine complement, whose name is Constance, Archangel Constance, and she can join us too, as can Archangel Michael's divine complement, and her name is Hope. The female archangels often have names that resonate actually with qualities of love.
You have to go down.
So noticing that love in your heart, allowing it to radiate out from your heart, filling your whole body with love. And allowing it from there to radiate all around you, filling that whole ball of light around you that is your energy field. And allowing it to expand. This is your time. Your time to just be you in your body, with other people who support you. So we're all here together. And just noticing how glorious the universe is. And from here, we'll have opportunities in this course and throughout the program and in your life in general to do various things. We'll be doing healings and activations of light and connecting with different angels, archangels. And when we do, as I mentioned before, we want to approach them with a pure heart and a pure intention to receive what is in our highest good and the highest good for all. I'm curious, Philip, does Archangel Metatron maybe have a message for you? Are you sensing anything?
He says that if you carry the love in your heart, it will open up amazing possibilities for you.
That's true. Yeah, so beautiful. So you can come here also with any kind of an inquiry, any kind of a question. And with that comes another recommendation, which is to always have a journal around, to somehow have some way to write messages. Like if you receive the insight of a lifetime,
Right.
you might want to write it down, because I can remember so many times thinking, wow, I'll never forget this. And 5 hours later, it's gone. So we're starting now to also, if you haven't already, to create a journal of your experiences, because you never know when those big days will come that you might be looking at them years later. I look back at things now several years ago. I want to know exactly how it was that it happened. And I have it all in writing. And of course, we want to be here with them in a place of gratitude for the blessings that they offer to us. So I'd like to express my gratitude to Archangel Metatron and Constance, Archangel Michael and Hope, and just also imagine now that in any time in the future, you can come back to this state, this place, with ease, just by recalling what it's like. You might notice the sights and sounds and feelings that you have here. It's called anchoring. So you can anchor the state and more quickly come back to the point where you can just almost instantaneously return to this state as you move into some kind of a process or wanting to visit with the angels, etc. And with that, we're ready to come back down. So we can imagine coming back down from the mystical mountaintop and noticing your body, where you're settling now, with your feet on the ground or floor, or if not on that, just imagine that you're grounded to the earth. And breathing in from there, more active energy, returning to your normal waking state. And also still holding that love. It's been shown actually that doing this kind of a process and connecting with your love and the love in your heart does change. It changes the way you think, the way that you experience life. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. So, any comments on that? Anyone want to share?
I didn't want to come back.
Oh, there you are. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and that is, it's such a valuable thing. It just changes a lot of things chemically in your body, and of course, over time, changes the way your brain functions. Many things. So that's our centering process, and now we're ready to open more to one of the big blessings of that connection, which you can also hold in your perspective right now, is that it opens you also to your intuitive senses. So Philip's going to talk about that, because that's a big part of what we're doing too, is accessing our intuition to understand more about who we are, why we're here, all of those things, what our next step is. So,
Right. accessing your intuitive senses, this is a key to our growth, our spiritual growth, and grounding it and accelerating it. And there's so many opportunities to do that. And we know some of you know those ways already, and we're going to be introducing other ways as well, because it puts you in this state of pure potential. And that's interesting when you go to the state of pure potential with your imagination or rising to the mystical mountaintop and other things we'll be doing. When you come back down, you are different. Your brain waves are different. And science has measured people who are in these deep meditative states, and their physiology, their heart and their brain is different when you come back, and you can be more and more in that place, as Jane was saying. And one of the simple keys is just having a sense of gratitude is one way of getting there as well, into this state of pure potential. And we also talk about this more in the ebook that comes with this course, Our Ultimate Paradigm Shift, which you can find in your resource section. So let's talk a little bit about what is pure potential. Sounds good. It's a way of getting
Vic
in
the best.
Yeah. What is normal and ordinary, we can go access things that are more extraordinary and beyond what is normal and the restrictions that we think is possible. And by being in this more expansive state and connecting with angels is one of the best ways of doing it, because it supercharges it all with the energy of angels resonating, reverberating through you. You can be in this soul-centered place to experience wisdom. Wisdom comes into your heart, deep insights, deep knowingness. So eventually you start to know it and live it. You not only understand it, I mean, just this course, you're going to understand a lot, get a lot of recognition, but you start to know it and live it and be it. And that's the beautiful shift. And that's why the course is a 4-month course, and it's not just a week training, because to actually start to live this, as you might imagine, takes some mastery and practice, which the course is designed to give you. And also, that's a note of, it's great you're here live. Those who have attended live and is watching the replay, maybe next time they can be here live, because it's more immersive, it's more engaging, and we notice people make have bigger results and more ahas by attending live. And if you can't, that's fine, because the recordings will be up shortly after the class in the next day or so. So part of being in a state of pure potential also involves having a neutral perspective. That's free of agendas. So not attached to what it is going to come, because that's sort of the more 3D reality where we have things kind of set and restricted by, quote, what we want. Not that there's anything wrong with having goals and focuses and expectations. That's good, but not to be fixed and attached to them. And so this expansive state can show you other things. Another aspect of characteristic of being in pure potential is having a pure intent coming from your heart and wisdom, that you just want to open to your greatest potential, your truth. And if you, as we said, you have a focus, I want to see if I want to improve my health, my relationships, say I'm going to this higher realm and seeing what it's showing me, what possibilities are there. And some of them will confirm things, but some of them may be just completely new revelatory insights and things that your imagination is going to show you is available to you. It may transcend your current situation or your current awareness. You'll bring it back down to earth and ground it. Couple other factors about getting pure potential, getting the most out of the course, is practice. Practice is big, because that really integrates it into your being. And the labs are designed for practice, and we do some practice, as you know, in the classes. There's really no substitute for that, because then you experience it directly. And even if we're doing a demonstration with one person, it really affects collectively. We're sort of a collective body, and they've shown that when people are collectively participating in something, that it's almost like a group feeling, like an extended mind or shared awareness occurs. So practice is important, and that you believe it's possible. It's possible to grow and transcend. And if there's some challenges of belief, which sometimes happens to us all, could I really do this? I mean, maybe other people could, but maybe I can't. Maybe I've tried and it hasn't worked before. Um, well, there's the Happy Tap EFT process, which we demonstrated last week in the overview class, which again is recorded in your resource section. That's one resource for healing or overcoming limiting beliefs, and there are other ones we'll go into in case you need that. So start like a child, just start kind of like an open, innocent, magic child. The interesting when we were children, we had all this incredible awareness and innocence and imagination, but we didn't have the being and the experience and to really use this incredible opportunities that children explore without all the wisdom and experience of an adult. But now we do. So this is great.
And then we used it again. We use it against the magic that's in us.
Yeah.
Interestingly, but we can change that.
Yeah. So I want to do just another little brief visualization, a brief interactive experience here, just to get in the right state to enlist the support of archangels again as we go forward in the class today. And again, this will help you feel more alive. Notice where you are now, and you might be in a pretty good state just from what Jane did in that Optimal Learning Mystical Mountain Top. And if you again sense the mystical mountaintop, just bringing it more consciously into your presence now and just feeling that energy. And it might be just a sensing or a color, an image, an awareness of that mystical mountaintop, beautiful, pure potential energy, right? And just allow all that energy to just come into all the cells of your body, right into the DNA, and helping all the electrons within your body. It's all there. Just as the universe is a harmony and a symphony, we can take that into every cell in our body, and our DNA can regenerate what's right for us now. That sense of aliveness, that sense of potential, that sense of wonder and awe. And there again, there may be sounds or images or colors coming to mind that you can link to this. Just noticing what your joy, what you want to create today is coming more and more into being. Uncovering your heartfelt joy. And so I'll just count to 5 and you can open your eyes. 1, 2, coming back, using this experience any way you want. 3, knowing you can return whenever you wish. 4, ready to open your eyes. 5, opening your eyes, grounding this pure potential energy into your being now, going forward for the rest of this class and afterwards. All right. A comment, curious comment, something you experienced, something you noticed, sharing it could be interesting for us all. And Sunny, was that a hand up or just gasping and like, oh my goodness. But
hi, everyone. It's so wonderful to see a lot of familiar faces and a couple of new faces. My experience was, again, with Jane beginning. I was there. I also, my guardian angel was there. His name is Eddie, and it was beautiful. So we were sitting on the lounge chairs on top of the world. Wooden lounge chairs. So we had some divine drinks. So it was out of this world. And this time, and then before it was done, I saw rainbows, the color of rainbows. Interestingly, that's what I'm wearing too, without even thinking about it. So now that you took us back, I was back right away, and I was by myself on the mountain, and this rainbow was coming out of my heart, just pouring down to the universe. And then that rainbow came back, another rainbow, to the crown of my head, and came and just kind of what you were saying, it's just like with your words, it just spread throughout every cell of my body.
Mm.
And I became this like amazing rainbow. Every cell of my body was dancing, rejuvenating and cleansing and clearing. And so that was like a really amazing, uplifting and experience, rejuvenating for sure. So I felt like with that light, that rainbow, wherever I needed to go, pushed out. Oh, and before I got the rainbow, before I was done with Jane's, I dropped something. It was like a big box that I was carrying, I didn't need. I dropped it, and that became beautiful, a beautiful bird that then disappeared. So I feel like with that light now coming in, whatever that I released was filled with that divine light.
Wow. I love that, becoming a rainbow. I'm going to explore that myself.
Well, we work a lot with Archangel Raziel. We did last time.
Yeah, we did do
in the class
rainbows
with the
in
happy tab and
Yeah.
that rainbow light. You can do that anytime.
right. Thanks for sharing, Sunny.
Yeah, thank
so
you.
much.
It's so beautiful. Oh gosh, and it is. If you might notice how alive you feel right now on a scale of 1 to 10. You know, maybe compare it with how you felt. Not that you you may have felt fine coming here, but my cells feel like they're vibrating. And I think it was interesting, Phil, the second time we went to the mountaintop, it did feel I felt the energy even more, which
Yeah,
was
we started
like
off in a higher
strange.
place, yeah, to begin
Yeah.
with. Yeah.
Yeah.
And a side note, Sunny has beautiful connections, and I know some of you do that very easily and deeply. And for others who this is newer, or maybe the connection, didn't seem to be as much or whatever, don't compare yourself to anyone. Whatever it is for you where you are now, that's the place. That's good. That's progress. It's unique to
Right.
each of us.
Yeah. Yeah. And just honor the journey.
Right.
I've been noticing using the tarot cards recently. Something has shifted, and I have a much deeper kind of a connection to them than I have before. And you just don't know when that's going to happen. I think
Right.
with all of these things, you just have to keep going at your own pace, not feeling. People so often worry, well, I'm not doing enough or whatever. Do what you can, and just the main thing is keep going.
Keep going.
Because you just you don't know when those big shifts are going to come.
And that's why this, again, is a 4-month course to develop mastery and have the time and space to do it. It's not something you can rush and force. It just won't happen that way. And that's, a lot of times little trainings can be good and give you little bits and pieces and maybe ahas sometimes, but it's not going to develop the depth that you need to really usually put it into your being and change you in wonderful ways.
Right. Well, and the whole program is a year. And even at that, I think
Yeah.
we have people here who are here for the second or third
Yeah.
time,
Right.
Because the journey continues, and the depth that is possible or the height that you can reach is hard you just don't know it until it happens.
Yeah. It keeps
Yeah.
growing and shifting
Right.
and enlarging. So that takes us to the next segment here about enlisting the support of the archangels directly. Jane?
Right. And of course, we've already had some experiences today. And for those who were with us last week, again, Raziel is another favorite of mine. Just a really amazing archangel. And there's always more. You just don't know what the next step is going to be. For those who are new, we do have a booklet connecting with archangels and ascend and enlightened masters on your resource page. It's easy reading. Will help you to understand how it is that you can connect most easily with them. It isn't difficult. I think,
No.
like I suggested earlier, it's really primarily a function of connecting with that pure, grateful heart and focused intent of wanting whatever it is in your highest good to be revealed. And I think also opening to the validity of the experiences, of not saying, oh no, that couldn't have been. Because the rational mind can easily defeat itself. So we have to be seeking to validate the experiences that we have, not being like out there. And that's the reason we do refer to science, and also we often refer to that wisdom that's come through the ages, that there are reasons to understand that this is a valid approach. And in fact, I think when you get to know how the experience of the archangels, the divine love that they offer is at a it's way as a higher level than we can produce ourselves, in my opinion. And if you open a lot to them over time, it changes. I think, and Philip would say it changes, it actually changes your nervous system. It changes you in
DNA.
amazingly wonderful ways. And opening, as we open more to love, and it is the heart and the soul in us, then we can trust ourselves and understand who we really are too, as magnificent spiritual beings. So I guess the point there is, don't sabotage yourself with doubt. You don't have to just blindly believe anything, but allow yourself to have those experiences, because that actually is in the end what is going to make the difference. It's like, wow, I am different, wow, I'm getting all of these insights and new ways of viewing things that are changing my life. I think there have been times in doing all of this with the angels and going into the Akashic records, which we do in the next course, where I've been challenged, like deeply challenged by what I've encountered. And that's part of it.
Yes.
But it is, if you ask also, you will find the validation that you're seeking too. And that can happen in surprising ways. And the angels are part of it. You can ask them. You can develop the ability to communicate with them if you haven't already. They are different from us or from the Ascended Masters in that they are messengers of pure love from our God, from our Creator. They haven't been tainted by the experience like we have of being down here and having all these other options that humans explore that are disconnected actually from the truth. So they very effectively help us to raise our vibrations and open to blessings that we may never have experienced before. I think that was the case with me. And why archangels specifically, rather than, there are a lot of angels, and there are some amazing ones. I don't want to go into, but the archangels are they're high high up in the angelic realms. Like humans, angels are evolving, and the archangels are highly evolved angels. The EL in archangels means of God. So each one vibrates a different vibration, an aspect of God. And in the book, we have a listing of 15 archangels. There are other ones, and we'll probably be introducing a few here and there that are not on this list, but this is a really wonderful list. So we had Metatron, and we had Michael, we've had Raziel, Magic, and Jeremiel is another one, angel of visions and dreams. Haniel, a beautiful angelic, feminine angelic presence. As a note, we will be referring to some of, as I did, the feminine counterparts of the archangels who are masculine. They all have masculine, feminine counterparts. Raphael, angel of healing, many, and you think, well, where do I start? Well, that's where the cards come in, and you can say, well, what is an archangel right now who would have a good message for me? And actually, which is interesting, the card I pulled from the major arcana of the tarot, and if you don't know what that is, you'll find out. And this is the world card, number 21. It is the one of completion, and the archangel is Jophiel. And Jophiel is the angel who helps us to receive an understanding of the beauty within, often is experienced as a blessing of rose petals. You might even just thinking about her, feel the rose petals. And it says a brilliant success, a time of joyful accomplishment and spiritual enlightenment. Freedom to do whatever you want. Be proud of yourself. So this is why we turn to the cards, because you can receive a lot more quickly. And there is that synchronous value of being presented with an opportunity that is right for you in this moment.
Right.
As with this beautiful card. I just think
Mm.
that's so wonderful. I mean,
Mhm.
for all of us that we would get this card together, just feels very positive in terms of what we're doing. So as I mentioned and Philip did, going up to the mountaintop, you can imagine going there anytime, and it's a beautiful place to meet with the archangels. And thinking again about pure potential, just opening to that vibration of divine love, and a place where there are no limits. You know, with quantum physics, there's the idea of a particle in a wave. Pure potential is the wave. Like we get beyond the place where things are fixed, and when we're in the place of pure potential, a whole new reality can emerge. So we'll be talking about that a lot. And as you connect with the angels, also they offer vibrations of energy and insights and so much more that are in harmony with all of that and help you so much to take your next step. So you can say they're like amplifiers of our soul's energy with different focuses to hone in on the different aspects of our reality and things that are right for that, things that our souls are wanting us to understand in this moment now, so they can help us to find solutions, realize our dreams and goals. As I mentioned earlier, J.R. Meal is a great one. And he's all about life plan and helping to understand your next steps, healing, just so many things. We also, in addition to this list, we refer to places on the internet where you can access more detailed descriptions of the angels. I think, to me, the the internet online resources are like a necessity. We're referring to things like on the internet all the time. So I just feel so blessed by all of this. And of course, along with that, you want to remember to express gratitude every time that you encounter them. So with Jophiel, and I think she'll be with us throughout the class today, just to thank her for that option or possibility that we have of connecting with her, and the blessings also of that energy of the world card.
So
that's
why
archangels.
why and how to use oracles, the next segment, before we actually go into an experience here individually and collectively on oracles and demonstrating. So oracles, a lot of times just in the mass consciousness, people think it's fortune telling. It's going to someone to read your future. And we don't really look at it that way, since the future isn't set. It might show indications of the future based on what your particular circumstances that may come up. And we've touched that our focus is the truth and wisdom in your heart, how to amplify that with the oracles, and in this case, connecting with the angels. And in our setting today and coming to these live classes, you have the support of us, the spiritual community here, the engagement, the energy. It's a wonderful opportunity to go deeper and to enter a transcendent state to understand all this. And this will actually reveal more of our magnificence and our potential too. You could say that the purposes for oracles, the way we're teaching this here, is threefold.
And by the way, it includes the tarot.
Yes.
When we refer to oracles, we put them together. Some people say they're distinct, and there are differences, but we're using them as oracles.
Right. And I would say, you could say there's a threefold purpose the way we're using oracles and tarot within the oracles here. One is for inner connections. So these very powerful inner connections, like, wow, hey, my best friend is an angel, archangel walking with the angels. That's pretty good. Number two is confirming your hunches or finding new meanings, hidden meanings. So it's going to give you deep insights that you might not be able to get otherwise, too. So the third part would be developing this relationship. In other words, having support from the oracles and the archangels here. And that's an incredible support team. We sometimes call it part of your spiritual family, it can become. So that's three ways to understand what we're doing here. And we want to just contrast that again, just to put things in a good context of many people actually go to an oracle reader, tarot reader, sort of to get the truth outside of themselves. And although there might be a time and a place for that at first, it actually becomes counterproductive after a while. It's not really helping you go forward because you're replacing the truth within your own wisdom and your direct knowingness with someone else telling you what that is, even if it's pretty accurate. It's still something like, I need something outside of myself to know this. Not that it's good to have support in the right context, of course. And since we've been doing this for a few decades, the holistic field of coaching and healing, and now with spiritual guide, I think it's a good opportunity where we are now to explore this in a way that's very heart-centered and personal for you, and you'll customize it for the right way for you. And this also is in alignment with mystery schools, and this might even be considered a mystery school, the ancient mystery schools from Egypt and Greece throughout the ages, where people taught practices to find the truth in your heart. And you'd have instructors who would help you do that, not replace you as a guru, but as a way of showing you the truth within for yourself and supporting you in doing that. And this is really could be considered a mystery school that we're in right now. And it removes a lot of the confusion and distractions that might come, or the lack of depth. So it will help you go deep and help you use it practically in your life. And eventually we found for ourselves that if you come from this place of the heart and the truth for yourself, and you ask sincerely and you get support from above, things just work out pretty magically in ways that you can't, quote, control. And that would be another problem of trying to control things, as we said, but being open to this expansive possibilities. Before I go on, Jane, did you want to add to any of that?
No,
Okay.
I'm happy.
Okay.
So I think I'm kind of
We're sort of
in all of this
in the moment
angelic
here.
energy right now.
So we're going to, as you know, get messages, images, and messages from the cards, even a simple one card reading like we'll do today, that can really evoke an aha, a light bulb moment, and get in synchronous insight. Or maybe just a confirmation, like, I thought that, now I really know it's true. How do I know it's true? How do I know my next step? Oh, I just got a tremendous confirmation. Or, wow, I hadn't thought of that, but that makes total sense. Oh, now I get it. Now I know what to do or what I need to be aware of and how to integrate that. And as I said, we'll do a reading today, and this will emerge maybe pretty quickly or over time, these confirmations and sometimes revelatory insights. And we'll be using today in this first part of the course, and today the Rodley Valentine deck. If you haven't gotten that, Angel Wisdom Tarot, an easy to use deck that combines the angels, you see it in the cover, with the major arcana, the parts of journey, the different cards, the big secrets as they're called. So it's a wonderful correlation, and that's one of the ways we learned how to do that, by connecting the cards with the angels. They go really beautifully together, and it's very simple to do and uplifting. Jane, did you want to add to any of that before we go on?
No, I'm happy.
And by the way, are there any comments or questions on that? And we wanted to select a deck that we thought would be the best. It took a lot of decks to find the right ones to focus on. that I think you'll find very valuable and user friendly.
Mhm.
Anyone want to make a either comment or question on any of that about why and how to use oracles? And Jane will elaborate a little bit on that too. Okay. So I guess we're good for now. People are kind of reflecting and making notes.
They may be in that angelic energy.
They might be in an angelic, blissful realm themselves, which is understandable. And hey, good.
Yeah.
All the better.
Yeah. It's
Optimal learning going on.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. And again, this is, I think, the beauty of being in the group. There's sort of an engagement to it. It puts you in this sort of blissful now moment. Jane,
Mhm. Yeah.
steps to follow for
Yeah.
oracle and
Yeah.
tarot readings.
So learning how to read oracles and tarot cards, it is a journey, as is everything in life. But there are some real basics that we talk about them in our book, Gifts and Blessings from Oracles, Angels, and Masters. That too is in your resource area. It has just the basics about it, and some other things we'll be discussing as we go along. And of course, we're starting with Angel Wisdom Tarot. If you're new to Tarot and Oracles, each deck of cards comes with its own guidelines about how you can start using it. So I'm going to offer a few ideas of the way that we do it. And you can also, with every deck that you receive or get with this course or that you have, you'll get more insights just reading what that author said about it. So there are certain steps that we take. And again, we're looking at this as a sacred practice. And so we want to treat every step of it in that way. So we want to really honor everything. And it begins when you receive your deck with preparing the cards, because you're wanting to raise the vibration of the cards for one thing, and also to harmonize them with your own energy. So one of the things that we use, which I find really helpful, is selenite. So I have actually a plate. In fact, it's the one Sunny gave. Remember, you gave us that selenite, and that's what I put. That's what I put new decks of cards on. It's a big plate. I use it all the time. I love it. Thank you. But you can get also little pieces of selenite. And I actually when I store decks, I put them on top. I've got pieces of selenite all over the place. Selenite is a very unusual stone. It's a form of sodium. And what it does is it removes all of the low vibration, kind of, you could say, regressive, restrictive frequencies from things, and raises, actually uplifts them. In fact, I also have a bracelet on. I often wear that because that helps you just to remove any discordant energies. So that's a very easy thing to do. I usually put them on the plate. Another thing is to bring them in harmony with your energy. I go through every card in a deck and I just look at it. I don't try to learn it. This is not a mental exercise. It's just connecting with every card, and you'll be looking at and just get a sense of it, general. Another thing I've started doing more recently, and I do this actually every time, most times when I do a reading, is I just bring the deck to my heart and I ask to harmonize it with my energy for now too. That's a good way to get the deck started. Other people do different things. They might use some kind of a what do you call that? Saging,
Mhm.
or there are
Mhm.
many different things that you can do. And then you want to store them, like I mentioned. I store them usually with having the selenite with them. To prepare for a reading, of course, everything starts with going into that place. And if you're having a challenge, if you're thinking, well, gee, I'm really confused, I don't know what to do, you can still connect with your heart and as best as you can, and then with that pure intent of receiving the right message for you in the moment. I also, as I mentioned before, always have a journal handy. You never know when that wisdom of the ages is going to come
Yeah,
through
right.
you. And this is what it is. You are the oracle. We're opening to that in ourselves. We'll be discussing this more also in the lab. And as we go along, we'll continue to share different things about using the cards. There are also different ways of shuffling the cards and reading the cards. We'll be talking about those as we do them. You can shuffle them like a regular deck of cards. Another thing you can do is just to overhand shuffle them that way. Some people just kind of put them on the table and shuffle them around.
Spread them out.
Right. So whatever feels right to you, experiment with it. And then drawing cards, I do different things. Sometimes I'll just spread them all out, and you'll see Philip actually doing that. He'll fan them out with his hand and pick one, or I might just spread them out on the table and then put my hand over them and just notice where it wants to go and pick that way. Sometimes I'll shuffle them and then I'll just do something like that and draw the one on top. So
yeah,
I just do whatever comes to mind. So follow your intuition. Don't worry about it. But
yeah. Don't get
be in the moment with it.
yeah.
That's the main thing.
That's the point. I just want to emphasize when whatever you're doing, shuffling, spreading them out, or your own way of selecting a card, just be intentional. When I do that fan idea, I fan it out, but then before I just pick something, I get it like what, and I have a focus, as we'll talk about. If you want to improve your health or whatever, and then which card is drawing me instead of just there's a moment of intent and awareness, and I just find like I'm going somewhere. It always takes me to some particular card.
Right. Yeah. And then trusting that the card is right. What I find just about every time I do a reading, and I'm doing readings these days with a lot of cards, usually 6 or 8 cards at a time. And I might draw them and I just have no idea what they're trying to say. So it can take a little time. And if a card really challenges you, we'll be talking about that too. I think people approach them in different ways, and the guidebooks also have different frequencies of energy in them. We'll be looking for what it is that seems like it's the message for us. Like if there's, say you have 2 pages of writing on it, you might just find it might be just a couple words that are for you.
Right.
It might be, I don't want to just draw something there, but it might be a few words. It might be the whole message. And I just approach it intuitively. Sometimes I don't read the whole message either. I'll just read and kind of scan and find the part that is relevant to me. So it is very intuitive.
And on the Rodley Valentine Archangel, the Angel Tarot cards, there are little brief taglines that brief summaries that you can draw from a word or a phrase or the whole thing as well.
Right. Yeah. That's one of the positive things about the cards. Another thing about the messages too is some of them may not feel quite right to you. Sometimes I rephrase things, or I just ignore things that I don't necessarily feel make sense to me. So I guess I keep returning to being intuitive with it because I think that's so important. What I was starting to say also is, if you have a challenging card, I'm trying to find one here.
A lot of them are in the swords or mental air suits.
Right, but there are things we're going to start with the major arcana, which is, we'll be talking more about what that is, I think, probably in the lab too. I can't find, you'd think I could find one. Well, here's one. This card is called Release in this deck, it's generally in the tarot called Death. And to me, every card where there's a challenge, it's saying that you're coming into something positive from this. it's not like you're dying, something is dying, things are going bad. Actually, the death card is about rebirth. And I think whatever the card is, I'm focused on what it is that's happening that's going to be raising me up. And as Philip mentioned, there are some cards that are challenging. They may be telling you, well, you're anxious or you're fearful or something. And what it's saying, if it's saying that, is, and you can change that.
Yeah.
So I focus on where it's going, not on letting it bring me down.
Yeah.
Because
So-
that's not the intention of it.
So when I get a quote negative card, it's telling me, there might be an instant reaction sometimes, like the hanging man, man upside down kind of hanging. Well, it's an opportunity, like Jane said, there's a restriction that I'm coming into and I can transcend it. I need to know, hey, I'm bumping up against a limitation. Not that that's a final sentence. It's just pointing out, hey, here's something you can transcend. And it also shows you a way to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. There is, for instance, also one of the cards in the minors, the 9 of Swords, that's the one, the anxiety and worries and fears that keep you up at night. If you get that, it's saying, well, you're having that, and you can say, well, it's wrong. But if it's true, you can say, oh, it's calling you out on it. It's saying this is happening and you can overcome it. So that's part of the reading, is how that's going to happen.
Mm-hmm. And if something doesn't immediately come to mind, give it a moment to just allow it to lead you into what the message is for you individually.
Mm-hmm. And, go to the mountaintop. Ask, well, what is the solution? And the solutions are there. And we also will be sharing different ways through different guidebooks and things that you can access more. But I think the main point is that this is all taking you to a place that's higher, and to stay focused on that happening and not allowing some suggestion in the cards. And I think the people, frankly, who create the decks may not have the highest consciousness. And you might read something and you think, well, this is really not quite what I believe. So discernment is always important, and following the truth the way that you see it is important. And I think those experiences of encountering some that you disagree with is good, because you need to be able to move through it and find there's a jewel in it. There's always a jewel there for you. What is that? So Philip mentioned it might take a minute or two. Sometimes with the readings I don't understand them at all, and I'll just wait. Like if I'm doing a reading in the evening, I'll look at it again in the morning, or if it's in the morning, I'll look at it again in the evening, because ultimately it does make sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And there also is always the possibility of drawing another card for clarity, by the way.
Yes.
It's just, you don't want to do that every time. You don't understand. Because you'll end up with a lot of cards. You want to get to a place where you can be with it and allow the truth to emerge.
And doing the individual readings in this course, as many of you know, things just emerge, things come into light. And of course, we have the collective energy to help us as spiritual community to shine a brighter light, a bigger lens on things.
Mm-hmm. I think one more thing, the last thing I want to mention, at least that I can think of right now, is the way you phrase your intention for the reading is important too. And we'll be going into that more, I think, in the lab next time. Today, we're just going to draw a single card with a simple intention to start. But that's a really important thing too, as is understanding, well, what do you do with a yes/no question and things like that. So we'll be. That's why we're here for a while. We'll be going into all those things.
Right. And were there any comments or questions before we do a demonstration? Yes, David, was that your hand? Or?
Yeah, I was also, I guess, just going to share that my understanding of a card evolves.
Yes. Right.
So yeah, like for me, it's the castle tower. That to be a
Mhm.
scary card.
Hmm.
Yeah, and it is. It is that one is like destruction, but it is the
Destruction.
Phoenix Rising too.
But it could be destruction of things that aren't so good.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
To make
Well
room
said.
for, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm
I
kind
also
of
think
loving the tower now.
well, good.
Collapsing
That's
the
the
old order.
thing, saying that people who have been using the tarot for years say they're still learning things, for
Oh,
10,
yes.
20 years. And that's my experience, is that it just keeps deepening. And
Yeah.
I actually got the Tower card recently, and I thought it was something like it can be understood as a jolting experience. Like, what if
Mhm.
it's joltingly positive?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Is maybe that's what's happening. In that case, it appeared that it might be that, and it really feels like that was the right interpretation. So there
Mhm.
isn't one interpretation for a card either.
Yeah. Or
Right.
exposing old thinking and patterns that don't really serve you.
Right.
Yeah. Hey, and David, thinking of that, we're going to do a reading. I don't know if you'd be open to a reading. You were talking about some of the things that were occurring to you, if you feel like one.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. So we'll do a reading with Radleigh Valentine's Angel Wisdom Tarot deck.
The
And
major arcana.
we're going to start with the
yeah.
major arcana, which I separated out in the deck for me, the 22 cards for the journey, big secrets, the journey that we all go through continuously. And we could just have something, David, as a focus point, your highest good for today. But if you want to customize that a little bit to your situation, we can too. Anything.
I love highest good for today.
Okay. Because that's pretty inclusive, because that'll point you to the direction you need to know.
Yeah.
Okay. And the connecting with an angel, and the cards, as we'll see, connect with angels. It's a beautiful way to connect with that. So I'm fanning the cards. And again, like I said, I'm looking at the one that's right for David, but it's also collectively going to affect the group. So although it's for
yeah.
David, it'll be right for you in your own way, as well as supporting David. So it's sort of a collective individual reading. Okay, so which one? Okay, well, I guess that is the one, and one that popped up higher.
Yeah, sometimes they fly out of the deck even.
Yeah, the magician especially might fly out of the deck. The magician, which, okay, the magician. The tagline is magic is alive in your life. What you need to be a success will manifest. If you believe it, you can do it. And before we connect with the angel, anything just popping up just right off the bat, David?
That's another card that kind of has evolved to me it means more and more using light to transmute what is going on that might be discouraging. So I love that magician as well.
Right, and it connects with the angel, and there's an angel depicted in the card Raziel, which we connected with, speaking of the rainbows and Sunny earlier, the rainbow angel.
He's back.
He's back. The magician.
Well, it's funny because as Sunny was mentioning that, I have evolving in me something that I'm just called light weavers.
Yes.
Which, when she was describing the rainbow coming, into, out, and in and back around, that is such a wonderful visual representation of what Life Weavers is becoming for me.
Wow. Yeah.
Wow.
Can
Okay.
I read the little bit from the book?
Yeah,
here?
go for it, Jane.
I think with what you're saying, it made me think. It says Archangel Raziel stands ready to bring magic into the world, and that makes so much sense too with the idea of transmuting. Transforming is a process that has a logic to it. Transmuting doesn't. It's just magic. The magic that he pulls in with his right hand travels downward through his left hand, indicating as above, so below. So it's like bringing magic from the universe down into your reality. Beautiful. Wow, look at you standing there ready to take on the world. The magician reflects that magic is alive in your life right now. There really isn't anything you can't accomplish if you just try. You may or may not be aware of the importance of this moment or realize just how prepared you are to create whatever you wish. And this makes me think also, for all of us, this is a beautiful card. This card is of trusting. The universe will provide you with what you need if you believe. Resources may just miraculously show up, or you may discover that you can easily manifest them yourself. Of course, it never hurts to ask wise people for advice, and if someone wants to help you soar, well, let them.
Well, there's a lesson there too, isn't there? No, I'll do it myself.
All right.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. The old way, I have to kind of struggle through it myself and do it on my own. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, isn't it?
Right. And
Yeah.
a little bit on, there's brief descriptions of each of the angels in the guidebook for the deck, the Angel Wisdom Tarot deck. And Raziel, he notes, is a spiritual mentor, and the name means Raziel's Secrets of God. He sits at the throne of God writing down all he hears. He shows up in rainbow colors, as we've said. So, David, are you beginning to sense, Raziel, what are you beginning to pick up here?
Well,
For
you know,
you.
it's nice having a best buddy who has the secrets of God. Stay close.
Mm-hmm. And Raziel, I'm getting, is saying for all of us, but for David in particular now, is just stay close to yourself, to your heart. Know that the answer is right within the center of your being, your heart, as it beats every moment. It gives you messages and signals from the universe that you can listen to create the magic in your life. Just let it unfold in the right way for you, David, and all you loved ones.
Nice. Yeah. Couldn't be better. That's perfect. Thank you. Did you
Mhm.
Beautiful.
script that before?
No.
No.
That was
But would
scripted
you-
in the
would-
moment.
You want me to invite Raziel's energy in so we can feel it, all of us?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Okay, so we can close our eyes again and imagine ourselves on that mystical mountaintop with Archangel Raziel. I see him kind of above us. It might be whatever it is for you. And just ask him to bless us with rainbow light, a cascade of rainbow light, allowing it to flow all around you and through you. I sometimes imagine it as sparkles. There are sparkles in it of rainbow light of different colors. So I invite those sparkles into the body, and all of the cells can invite in whatever color or colors are right for them. So every cell can be nourished by this light. Going all the way down, as Philip mentioned, it's actually into the atoms and the electrons that spin faster when we release the sludge that is keeping us down, and when we open to the brightness of an angelic presence like Raziel, just feeling that divine love all through us and around us. And knowing he says, I'm always here for you. And it's like he's holding out one of those little sparkler things, you know, that you get on the 4th of July. Kind of cute. So that's Archangel Raziel. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes again.
Yeah.
How did that feel, David?
Nice. And would it surprise you to know that when he held out the sparkler, you know, that takes me all the way back to being 5 years old at a campfire, you know, at
Oh,
my
really?
grandparents'
Yeah,
house.
that's probably for
Where-
you. Yeah.
That's what we were doing, was running around with the sparkler, you know.
Mhm.
Yeah. Getting back in touch with that magic child energy.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. Yeah.
So we are getting close to the closing now here of class 1. And if this is where we're starting, I'm very excited about where we're
Mhm.
going
Yeah,
from
we got
here.
some really good ones today.
Nice.
So some final notes as we close here and going forward. Jane, do you want to note where we are and what's going to be coming up here?
Yeah, we'll be using the angel wisdom again next week. And again, I'm just so pleased with these cards. Like Philip mentioned, we've looked at many different decks, including different decks with angels, and this one we keep coming back to it. It's just really wonderful. So at the lab, we'll do a reading. We'll probably go into more. We also have, if you're not aware of it, we have a complete guidebook, the readings guidebook with the different card spreads actually that we'll be using in this course. So you have access to that
Yeah,
also.
step by step how to do it.
Yeah. So what we do in the labs is we share more information, we demonstrate a process for you to do, and then you have a chance to practice in small groups. So it's a way of learning and sharing and actually getting to know each other too, which I think is a very important part of all of this, as Philip has been suggesting too, because it is what we have felt for years is that you can't do these kinds of things alone. You know, you need a community around you,
Mhm.
and you have people like-minded, really beautiful like-minded people here with you. So we'll do that. Then the following week, we're going into step 3 of the roadmap, and we'll just continue going further each time, learning more about the cards, how to use the tarot. Again, if the tarot is new to you, looking at the Oracles book, it provides a good overview of what the major arcana is.
Yeah.
If you're thinking, I have no idea what that is.
Yeah, you don't, there's no prerequisites of learning this too. There's not like, wow, I need a whole bunch of stuff. You start where you are.
Right. Anyhow, it talks about the arcanas and how the tarot works and all of these things about doing readings. And in fact, at the end, we just added a new section to it from, I think last time in the last course, I created some information about how to learn different things you can do to learn to use the tarot. And we have, with the cards that we're using in this course, we have some specific ways of learning the tarot from that, which are very interesting and different from anything that we've had in other courses. If you haven't experienced this before, so it's a journey and an adventure. And we're delighted that you're here. We will also, over time, we'll be going more into healing with angelic energy, just so many things, and always available after hours. Or if you run into a problem, give us a call. We're here. So,
Yeah, or email us. Yeah.
yeah, email us, give us a call.
So, yeah. So as
After hours is a really great thing because we're here right now. So
yeah, and it's great being live, and if not, there'll be recordings the next day. You can review them also. And maybe we should have just if anyone wants to give a little final comment, a little aha, something that you got in value in class 1. Love to hear from you. And it's nice to share the energy that way. Sunny?
I loved having Archangel Raziel come.
yeah, with your
Because-
That's a
rainbows.
treat.
Yes, I know. Well, and as you mentioned, it's collectively the experience that I had. I felt like it wasn't just me, that rainbow was for all of us. And I forgot which archangel was associated with rainbow, but I was surprised to see that because it wasn't Metatron and Michael, but I just allowed, sometimes we question if we're in spirit, we allow it. And then
Right.
it came back when you were mentioning cards actually come to for a confirmation. That was a confirmation for me that the experience that I had was actually Archangel Raziel was there, and I didn't know. I just
Who that was.
experienced it.
Mhm.
I'm sure it was
Right,
there for
yeah.
all of us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, it's always nice to start with a little magic.
Yeah, and
Magic and mystery.
yeah, that's always fun. Another takeaway comment from someone?
This is Margaret.
Hi, Margaret.
I really had a connection with the magic card, the magician card too.
Mhm.
And as Jane was reading some things off, just the things were like almost as if capitalization just boom, and and they were there is magic in me. It's the way I heard it, even though she was saying it's in all of us, but the way I heard it was in me. And then magic is alive in my life right now. That was also just sort of right there. And then the last one was trust the universe will provide what I need. And I just it's amazing to me because you were saying, oftentimes when we do these collective readings, you always have a volunteer, but then it is a collective reading, and I think at every single time in all of the classes that we've done, I have had something significant come from those collective readings. Even if
Mhm.
it
Yeah.
wasn't one word or one sentence, it was just, oh, there it is for me too.
Mhm.
So I really
Yeah.
enjoyed that.
Yeah,
Thank you.
we're
Yeah.
a beautiful spiritual community. We're all connected as a shared awareness here, an extended mind.
Right.
Thank you, Margaret. That was beautiful.
Yeah, I should thank Raziel too, by
And
the
thank
way.
you, Raziel.
Everyone thank
Thank
Raziel.
everyone.
Yeah.
So Jane will stick around if there's any after hours discussion, follow up, and we'll see you hopefully in lab next week, same time, same station. This is going to be an epic journey, fun, transformational.
Yeah, I'm so happy to be back with these cards. They keep
Right.
rotating in and out.